Call in by clicking the link in the stream's description. The professor wants to hear from you.
Beginnings on the cusp. Not too old to adjust. Old dog, new tricks. Remember, I was just a pup. Something dirty in my cup. Clean soul, good karma.
Yeah. Woo! Woke up with a vision, it's Professor Bear's day. Ruling the game, coming hard, paving his way. Thoughtful and smart, yeah, the wisdom amassed. In a world full of shadows, he's breaking the cast.
Welcome to everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Professor Bear, and this is A Bear's Thought. And I have a special guest with us today. It is a gentleman who was so super nice to have me on his show. I thought, Professor, the best thing to do is return the favor. So that's what I did. So this is my friend, Erik Dunn. Erik, how are you today, sir?
I gotta tell you, that was one hell of a freaking intro.
I appreciate
it. I was just bobbing my head just listening to the music, man. I'm like, wait a minute. That song, how did that? I think that's his entrance theme, and as Monty goes to the ring.
No, actually, that is an original theme song that had created by one of our artists that does music for us.
So just real quick, where are you based out of, living?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
You're outside of Nashville. I guess it makes it easier then, huh?
A little bit.
Get on back there, boy. Come on now.
So,
yeah, good stuff.
If you don't mind, give the people your background, sure. How you started and everything.
Sure. So to everybody here, so from base radio, so wherever you guys are watching right now here on the world, Herman here is from Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm from Bridgewater, Massachusetts, and I hate summer weather because it's humid and it sucks. But anyway, but I guess I can't really complain that much because he always gets the heat indexes that are above 100 for like 3 months in a row. So I guess I can't really say I'm that upset. But anyway, but to tell you guys a little more about me, I am somebody that does not have a background in radio. I created that background from going to college and going through education and learning. But I do, however, created a name for myself with singing. And before I get into you guys a little bit about like how I met Herman, I actually want to give you guys a little bit of background about me. After I graduated high school 8 years ago, I started a journey where I started singing the national anthem for certain teams and trying to create my name and try to create a financial living for myself. And it wasn't until this year in general that things really started to pick up and started to really like pick up a notch. And I don't want to spoil that because I want to have Herman get the chance to hear a little bit when he asked me some questions on that. But the last 2 years, though, I have been with a man named Ron Rigo, who's the creator of Rhode Island Broadcasting. And a show was born just 2 years ago, and that is called Falls Count Anywhere. And in the beginning, it was a combination of me with 3 others, where it was TNA, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, local indie stuff, and I focused on WWE because that was my specialty. I didn't actually become a fan of WWE until around like a decade ago, like early 2015, back when I started to understand like really like what it was, and really just like appreciate the art that was the sport of professional wrestling, and and it's been a pretty interesting ride. People lost contact with me, and I went to being just by myself for like 90% of the last 2 years, but being able to have a show where I just can just focus on WWE and not do anything else. It's a joy for me because it gives me time to separate myself from the other show I do that airs Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. on 990WBOB.com called I'm Done with Sports. And no, you guessed it. It's I'm DUNN. If you get the pun, you schmucks, And that show was created when I got out of community college in Rhode Island, and I started doing it officially full time for this is, I believe, my if I look at the numbers right, I believe I've hit now my second full calendar year, and I hit I hit my 100th episode of I'm Done with Sports, I believe, towards the end of last year, at the beginning of this year, and in that show, I go Red Sox, Patriots, Bruins, Celtics, and WWE if I can't fill in the gap. And I believe the 100th of Balls Gone Anywhere is going to be at the beginning of July. So with FCA, I'll celebrate my 100th there. But even though that's all fine and well, and as we get towards my sign off and Herman decides to kick me out, because eventually he will, because he'll get sick of me. I'll give you guys like my contact, where you guys can find me, my socials on where you can stay in touch with me. Because so Herman, I don't know how much of a sports fan you are, but
Big one.
big one. Okay. So obviously you've heard of the Boston Celtics.
Of course.
Okay.
Not to be rude, but I was so glad their ass got bounced out the playoffs.
Well, after this story that I'm going to tell you after what I did with them, I think you might want to retract that statement.
Okay.
Or should I say maybe wish that, or maybe wish that didn't happen though. So my national anthem journey began when I turned 17, and since then I've had 2 seasons with Pawtucket Red Sox, 18 and 19. 2020 and 2022 with the Providence Bruins. I officially entered my 3rd season this year with the Worcester Red Sox. I actually made my Providence College Friars debut back in January. I'll be making my Brown University debut this fall and winter. And I've actually gotten to do some national anthem work for the military and some of the armed forces, including the Massachusetts Firefighting Academy when they had their graduation in April. But Herman, you'll appreciate this one though. On January 23rd, I get an email, and it happened to be from a woman named Carly Lenahan, who's a director of game day operations of the Boston Celtics. April 4th was their autism acceptance night, and I had the honor to sing in front of 16,000 people at TD Garden when they took on the Phoenix Suns.
Oh man, that is wonderful. That is so dope to hear.
And the best part about that was I have level 1 autism, and it just made it even better that I got to represent the entire autism community and spread the message that night to not just all of Boston, but for those watching and listening, that we're not supposed to fit a mold that society has created. We have to create our own in order for us to fit in. And our job is to push the darkness away and become that light that society has just blanked us from being. And then my dad gave me a story over the weekend about how owner Wick Roshnick, who I met that night, apparently I made such an impression on him that if they made it back to the finals, he told Carly to give Erik game 1. So that's why I was telling you, Herman, you might want to retract that statement because if they made it back to the finals this year, I would have gotten to sing the national anthem probably this week for game 1 in front of millions of people on a worldwide ESPN audience because my anthem would have been televised.
Man, I definitely I take back that just for wishing that you had that opportunity. And I feel you're gonna get that opportunity.
I
It's
do have
just
an update about
one.
that, brother. Well, I do have an update about that, brother. And it's actually a good one. So that was a what if. If they made it back to the finals, that's a what if. Here is a what could happen. Then Carly went. Then Carly said to my dad, in the event he doesn't get the finals because they don't make it, there's a very strong chance he could get opening night in October.
All
And that's
right.
the and brother, that's the only other time they televise the anthem. Because let's say Indiana or OKC wins, if one of those two comes to Boston for the season opening night, ESPN's going to pick that right up.
Oh, definitely.
And if that happens and I get that, not only will my anthem be televised, but that means I set the bar and I set the tone for the rest of the year for everyone else that comes after me. And that will be a sold out crowd. That will be a complete sellout. And I mean, granted, 16,000 people, like you can't beat that. But I mean, but the full capacity is just over 18,264. And that would just be a dream for me to come true. That not only would I be televised on national television, but so many more people will get to hear my story with my disability, see what I can do, and have them understand that by the power of God and how good He is, I was blessed with this gift. I never earned it. It was never handed to me. It was blessed to me by the hand of God. And like I'm proud to say, brother, it's because of His faith that I can still be here, and it's been such a cool thing. However, if I don't get open tonight, then Carter said, "Hey, just tell Erik he's coming back next year regardless." Like, like we want to see him again. A lot of us want to see him again. So even if he doesn't get open tonight, which I'll find out around mid-August, he will be coming back. So the takeaway from all this is that I'm going back next year again. Playoffs could be in the works next year based on what happens, and God is so good.
Man, I am so happy to hear that story. You definitely deserve it. You work hard. I know you do. And man, oh man, if I had any inkling just for you to get that spot, I would have enjoyed you doing that.
I appreciate that,
Or
man.
I can't stand Boston, but that's neither here nor there. I know you're gonna get chances to shine, and I'm
Thank you,
so
man.
proud of you, and I'm so glad for you.
And the biggest thing, Herman, is this. So for those that want to find out where that anthem is, and I'll give this to you as well. Celtics Entertainment is the page of where they put out my anthem. Um, but here's the funny part: if you literally go on Safari or Chrome and type in ErikDunn, that's the first link that pops up is me singing for the Celtics. Like literally, it pops up right there and there, right then and there. Sorry, there and there. Idiot. Oh man, where's the cowbell to bang off the eardrum when you need one to show how stupid you are, right? Like, but
And,
anyway,
and,
yeah,
well, if that was the case, most of my podcasts would be like that because I'm down to say something silly at least 3-4 times before an interview is over with. So,
right, but brother, let me make this clear. You're probably one of the very few guys that I know of your racing car that's actually very intelligent.
we appreciate that.
Because listen, man, I don't want to say something offensive here, but I'll tell you though, man, I will take intelligent in English over intelligent in broken English any day of the week, because at least I can understand them and they can understand me, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know what I mean? But so Celtics Entertainment, that's the account on their Facebook and their Instagram. Like, brother, let me tell you how cool this was. Never did I think this would happen either. Because apparently, how I found out that they were going to give me game one of the finals was they've been paying attention to that view count, and they watched it get higher and higher and higher. So Celtics Entertainment's Instagram has only been up for 2 years. I'm their most viewed anthem, and I'm their sixth most viewed video as of right now That view count is 481,000. And brother, and if you combine that view count with Facebook's, I'm at 910,000 views for a combined total. I'm 90K shy of a million.
I could not imagine how that makes you feel to know that. It has to
It
be.
honestly just makes me feel like I'm included in this world and that I'm not pushed away to the side. Like it makes me feel like that people do care if you look hard enough, and all it takes is one moment to change your life. And I'll tell you, man, like when I tell people God is so good, I say, listen, before I was a performer and entertainer, I was a worshiper. I was a child of God before I was a performer. And no one will ever tell me that his goodness isn't there. Because of his goodness, it's why I've been a little bit over now a decade suicide free. I beat that when I turned 15. I am somebody that has gotten a second chance at life, and my anthem now being 2 months old, it's helped me get opportunities that I never believed I would get right now. And it's because of that night and because of all those kids and families that ask me for selfies and photos and ask to hear more about me. That's where I say it's because of God's grace and his faith. That's why I'm here, man. And it's just been such a blessing, not only to have met you, but to have the chance to have this platform to get to share a little bit about me. So I do appreciate that.
Oh, is no problem. And we were talking beforehand how we lost contact and got back together. It like I agree with you 1,000%. God has put us in these situations. We have to go to things to get to where He wants us.
Amen.
I've never thought that me doing a podcast would reach out to so many people. I would touch so many people. My wife, she encouraged me to do this when I didn't want to do this, when I didn't have faith in myself. So
come on now, man.
When I get this now where people come up to me like, man, I love your podcast. Hey, can I get will you sign an autograph for me? That just blows me away. Last night talking to Ricky Morton, he's like, hey, you come up to a show I'm at, tell him at the front to come get me, you getting in, you ain't paying. And Ricky don't do a lot of interviews, and he wanted to do mine. So I definitely understand exactly what you're feeling about, because it is a blessing. It is
100%,
nothing
man.
but a blessing.
And I also want to say this too, that for those that want to find that national anthem, you simply just type in that. Please do take a look at that, view it, and share it, because I would love the ability to actually get 1 million views combined total. Like that would just be a dream in itself. I think that will wake up a lot of places that are around the Boston area, like Fenway and Gillette Stadium, to say, hey, you know what? This kid with autism just made some history for himself, but has moved so many other people. Why don't we look at what he's doing? And I'm still trying to figure out Red Sox and Patriots and figure all that out. I mean, you always know Bruins. They got Todd Ainsley, and man, like he's amazing for himself. And that's why I told people, I said, I'm not trying to be the next Todd Ainsley. I'm the one and only Erik Dunn. I don't need to imitate somebody just to get a cheap pop. I don't need to act like somebody else in order for me to get a cheap reaction. I can be me, and I can blow the roof off the place. And I'm just giving, and I'll tell you, man, if you do watch this, and I hope you do, you will hear how loud they got to a point where it was so deafening. I was hoping that they would have given me in-ear monitors so I could have heard myself sing. Like, dude, wow. like, brother, I think my ears popped like 3 times. Like, dude, I had like 4 loud ovations during it, 3 and 4, and I'm just like, how am I going to get through this? Like, dude, the overwhelmingness I had. I mean, when I first found out I got this anthem, I was not only crapping bricks, I was crapping out a wall. You know what I mean? Like, brother, let's answer right now, man. I crapped out a wall so freaking tall and wide, it would block the state line from Rhode Island to Connecticut. Like, dude, like I was on another galaxy. But however, if I did get through game one of the finals, I'd be crapping on a mansion. If you know what I'm
Oh
saying.
yeah, I can imagine.
Actually,
I can imagine.
actually, you know what, man? Screw that, man. Actually, I'm gonna screw that, man. I'd be crapping out a street to buy real estate on, like Maran. You know what I mean? Dude, like my nerves would be on a whole nother level that you wouldn't even think even possible. Because like stuff like this, man, it doesn't happen to people like us. And also, that's the other thing I want to bring along to this story too. Um, the Woo Sox had a give me a cancellation on 5 days' notice on May 6th. And I sang both the anthem and God Bless America on that Sunday. I spoke one of the ushers I spoke with up on their version of the Green Monster. They call it the Worcester Wall in right field. I was sitting with her for during like the seventh inning, and she said, "You know, it's not that society doesn't have to give you a chance, and people like you a chance. They just don't want to because they don't see you fitting their mold." And that was when I told the usher, I said, "With all due respect, man, as much as I agree with that, I've been working on this now for 8 years. And my mission isn't to continue the script. My mission is to rewrite it. You know what I mean? Because this world's not gonna be understanding to people like me with my disability just out of the blue. We have to show them why why you need to be compassionate and understanding to people like us. And I feel like the Celtics just like was like a domino effect that like created like a movement in a way where like like dude like that weekend I went viral in Boston just in that weekend and I was watching the boot camp get higher and higher with each week, and a month went by I was at like 700K, and I'm just like, even if it stopped right now I'd just be thankful and I'd just be praising God, and now it's at 910 combined, and I'm just like, I hope that for those that watch this program and know how good of a man this guy on my left is, I hope you can really understand that like he didn't bring me on out of pity, he didn't bring me on out of sympathy, he didn't bring me on out of desperation or basically just to create views and get brownie points because he brought like an autistic guy on. He genuinely came to Rhode Island Broadcasting, talked to Ron and said, I want to help you out, and I hope that he will be in touch with us to try to have him come on FCA more than once, because it would be great if he could be like a regular guy. But even if that doesn't happen, and it's like once a month or something like that, I hope you will stay in touch with Ron in that situation, because you're just a good dude. And I think that we have a great chemistry. And I think we've created a bond and a level of mutual admiration and respect for each other. I just want you guys to like really understand that, the road I've been on, how hard it's been, there isn't any day I don't praise God for it. You know what I mean? Like he overflows our glasses even when they're not even halfway full. And that's why, I tell people I was a worshiper and a child of God before I was a performer and before I was an entertainer. Before I was a performer, I was humbled at the throne of Christ. And I was humbled when I had my seat at the table, if you know what I'm saying, brother. Like, I just really hope people can take this message, find inspiration, and just find love behind it.
Man, the thing is, up until this point, I never knew you had autism. And does that change my view of you? No, because you are a great person. You're respectful. You're funny. Like you said, we have a chemistry. And that's why when you asked me to come back, I was, yeah, definitely. We can definitely work something out. Then Facebook got hacked, whatever. But we link back up and we're going to do more stuff in the future. And this should just go to prove to everybody listening and watching, you do not have to take what people think you are and how far you can go. You can make yourself go as far as you want if you put the time, the effort, and be undaunting. No matter when people tell you you can't do, you go out of your way to prove them wrong. So again, man, I'm appreciative that you're here. And let's jump into what what is your specialty, which is WWE.
Certainly, man. Let's do this.
So, how are you feeling about the recent? They're not really releases because they're just not renewing their contract. But with R-Truth, Carlito, and Sarah Logan, how are you feeling about those?
So, as someone that's really gotten to know a lot about WWE, especially I went all the way back to the very beginning. I mean, I didn't go all the way back to when the company first started, but I went all the way back to back when it was right around the time of the Montreal Screw Job and the beginning of Austin 316. That's when I went back to really understand the history of when it was the World Wrestling Federation to then transform into World Wrestling Entertainment. And I could say R-Truth, Ron the Truth Killings, he is somebody that's going to be missed by so many in this company and in this WWE universe. I gave a tribute to him on FCA last night, and for those that want to try to find where I am, I'll give you guys all my contact information once we hit the top of the hour and it's time for Herman to say goodbye to me because I'll tell you, I think he'll only handle me for an hour. I think, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, train on the track here. Sorry. So, R-Truth to me, was he going to be one of the greatest talents in the history of the business? No. But he was going to be one of the most funniest talents in the business. And man, did his character live up to expectations. He, to me, is a diamond in the rough. Just when, something is crappy with the show and you just need a laugh, he's just the guy to just make you smile. And to me, he's worth that salary that the company was paying him. And the hardest thing for me that I've watched with Truth is I've slowly watched his career just decline because of poor management and poor creative control. And the hardest thing for me is, I believe his contract was expiring in July, and that's created such a whiplash effect inside of the bowels of the company. You've got guys like Mike the Miz McZanin that's actually not going to renew his contract, and he's going to be leaving because of Truth. And I really feel like all this backlash could have been just avoided if they let him live out the rest of his contract till next month and they gave him a proper send-off. Because if they knew that the executive VP of Talent Relations, ECW legend Tommy Dreamer, who works with TNA under that front office, if they knew that he was going to go into TNA, he's still in the WWE system because TNA and WWE are now actually together. You find out how I believe freaking all those years ago. No one thought that would ever happen. But Herman, here's the thing. This will tie me into this statement. I don't think this was Triple H's decision on this. If I put money on this, I think it's Rock and TKO. I think there's a power struggle right now between the Game and the Brahma Bull that's happening live in the boardroom and inside the confines of WWE, to where it's having not just an effect on the product, it's having an effect on the company. And if you look at the totem pole, I think the Game right now is at the very bottom of where he is in control of WWE. And personally, if that's the way it is, then I think The Rock himself may have ruined the company when he came out at Elimination Chamber in March, and he basically turned John Cena heel for no reason, when in reality, if he did, he should have just stayed on the entire way on the road to WrestleMania, and he should not have ruined it the way that he did.
Well, I will agree with you that I think that they made a colossal mistake having The Rock come out at Chamber. And this is of course from Rock's point of view. He's told them that he wasn't going to be available for Mania. So why put him out there? Because honestly, I think a lot of fans, and myself included in this, we wanted to know why The Rock turned Cena heel. That everybody wanted to know why. And the way they pivoted wasn't the greatest in the world.
Sure.
And then you turn around and then have Travis Scott interfere at Mania.
What the hell was that stupid pain in the ass there for?
Exactly. I was gonna say that was so
Seriously.
deflating. It just hurt. So they could have did something different. But to your point about TKO and Triple H, I do agree with you a little bit that I think these are TKO decisions versus Triple H. But
Yeah.
in the same token, I understand, as big of a wrestling fan I am, and I watch, I realize these are businesses, and you have to continue running as a business. R-Truth is much beloved, but if you and the thing is, and of course you hear different things. We won't know what's true, but these are the rumors that they offer him a new contract, but it was really lower than what his other one was, and he was like, "No, I know my worth."
Correct.
And truthfully, in this day and age, it's probably best to go out into, because the indies are hot right now. The indie scenes, he can go to AEW and do a similar gimmick and kill, plus get more money for it. Even if he doesn't go to AEW, all these different promotions will pay him top dollar because they know his name will draw people, even if you're not a big indie person. But you get to see R-Truth live, you know it's gonna be a great time.
Right. And that's the big thing, Herman, that I'll tell you this as well. Getting to John for a second, we're halfway through his retirement tour, and I personally believe, in my opinion, Cody should still be champion right now. And the reason why I say that is because if you want to give John the 17th, I would have done it this way. Cody retains at WrestleMania. Whatever happens with him, happens with him. But if I had it my way, I would have liked to have seen Randy get his 15th off of Cody, because of the history they have together with Legacy, with that's it, Russ. Sorry, I was trying to make an American dream. Baby, no, I'm not even gonna do it. I can't do it. Hey, come on now.
Talking about that American dream, baby. Yeah, baby, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, hang on a second. Since you did one, I got to try to do one now. Hang on a second. Hang on. It's like a baby. You have,
and you got to understand too. I've been watching it since the '80s. I grew up with Dusty, so I got a chance to practice all.
Of course, but this is what I'll do, right? Yeah, so I'll go like this. Baby, you have it. You have it. You couldn't get rid of it. You couldn't sell it if you wanted to. You are it. Come like honestly, one of them was funny too. He was like, he was like, you want to come on down here to this ring? I'll be your Huckleberry all night long. Come on. You know what I mean? Oh man, like honestly, like I'll be your Huckleberry singing "Oh My Darling Clementine," and y'all just gonna run away off that horse there into the sunset. You know, like oh man. Oh, sorry. Also, by the way, I'm also a cartoon guy, so like, you know, Huckleberry Hound, Top Cat, Flintstones, Jetsons, Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, you know, 1, 2, 3, hit! You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Okay, hang on. Train on the track. Just bear with me here. I'm a little sorry. Like honestly, like if you look closely to my left, you see someone slain over here. Anyway, so anyway, but no. So my main problem was this. Because of the history of Cody and Randy, I would have loved it if Randy got his 15th. Knowing Backlash was in St. Louis, that would have been the best time for Cody to have dropped the title to me. But Herman, my money would have been this way for John. He was the first superstar in the history of the company to lose money in the bank after he cashed it in. 2012, Raw 1000, him and Punk cashed in money in the bank and lost. I would have loved for his final time at Money in the Bank, him go into the ladder match, win Money in the Bank, and guess what? Now that Stardance main event at TD Garden in Boston is his last date of his career, have him cash in on that night or at SummerSlam, have him cash in on that night and retire as the 17th world champ with the 17th world title reign. Have him retire as WWE champion, break Rick's record, and right off into the sunset as that polarizing, electrifying babyface he's always been. Everyone's behind him. Everyone will love him and miss him. That's the best way to do it, to me. With him as the heel right now, they forced a heel turn that I don't think John had total control over. I don't know if John has complete creative control on his heel turn. Because honestly, here's the thing I learned about Rock. When it comes to politics, he can be a very good manipulator when it comes to money and power. If he's on the board at TKO, which in this case it is, this is John's last year of his career. He's done after this. In-ring. In-ring.
Right.
Why would you not give him control for his last year? I would have loved it if this happened instead. If he won the Rumble, because you understand, back in February when they had the Rumble, him and Jay were the last two. If he won the Rumble, he would have tied Stone Cold Steve Austin with 3 Rumble victories and tied for the most in the history of the company. He would have won the Rumble, gone into WrestleMania, even if he didn't win. Or if he did win his 17th, give him a run.
Well,
And let him have a proper farewell. I hate heel Cena because you're not getting, in my eyes, the real John Cena. You're basically getting a guy who was faced for 22 years. Like Herman, you can't just flip a switch when he's been a babyface since November 2003, and then make him a heel for the last 9 months.
well,
Like, it doesn't work like that.
Well, here's the thing, and generally I would agree if it had been someone else, but we're talking about John Cena, one of the best mic workers.
Probably the best mic worker.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue any time frame, he's going to be up there as one of the best. So with John, he can work a crowd. He has that. He can make you feel what he wants you to. So I'm okay with him being a heel. I'm okay with what he's doing, because if it's somebody else, I would agree. The Rock has more influence, but John carried that company when nobody else was carrying it.
That's right.
So I'm gonna let John do what John wants to do. Personally, it's gotten a little dry, but I've been okay with the heel run. I love the fact that it's no music. He comes out black and just John Cena. I've been appreciating that.
It's something out of like a freaking 1900s film. Just black and white, and that's just like a plain black screen, no time drawn. But Herman, here's the thing though, and I kind of want to ask you this. I've been debating on who's going to be the one that makes him turn back. That's what I'm trying to figure out. And I've got a feeling maybe Cody's the one that turns him back. Because everyone thought R-Truth was going to be the one to turn him back originally. But maybe after Stardance main event, maybe we're seeing signs of him beginning to understand that he was making some wrong decisions. My question to you is this. Who do you think could turn him back, and when do you think that will be? Because I don't think it's going to be at the very end of his run by the end of the year. I would think that he's going to do something big to go out in a blaze of glory. If you feel me on that one.
Yeah. Um, if I had my guess would be that they would do something. um,
Uh, 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 hang on a second. Did you just see that comment there?
yeah, Mr. Producer, put that back up. Thank you.
Oh wait. Oh wait a minute. He's the producer.
Uh,
Derek Sharp is your producer.
no, 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 no. He's not.
Oh, okay. Because I'm like, wait, I'm gonna have to open the book and get the professor a real guess. Really, huh? Herman, do you have a response to that?
Oh well, generally, I wouldn't even go and give an answer to that. But
Sure.
since you asked, I will say not only do I have a real guest, I have a super guest. So if and I will say this, and this is my philosophy 100%. If I'm doing something that you do not like, if I have a guest on that you do not like, you have my permission. The bear is giving you permission to turn it off. There's so many podcasts, and honestly, I think he was saying it as a joke.
I hope he was.
Yeah, I think it was a joke. That's why I asked him to put it back up because I thought it was a joke. So again, please don't take any offense to it. I truly believe it was a joke.
Hey, listen, man. In one ear out the other. So getting back to what we're saying before that comment
I,
and the really interruption of that. Tell me your thoughts about what I told you earlier.
I would say I agree with you. Cody would get him to turn back, or Cody or Punk.
Cody or
Now,
Punk.
Punk is not my favorite person, but I
Okay.
think it would do more for Cody being able to turn him back to the good side than it would Punk. Because Punk has
Yeah.
already stated that he's about championships and money. So I think it would help. I think it would help Cody's, because a lot of people want to see Cody turn heel. And I think it would be great for him to turn Cena back face,
That
him to turn heel.
John belongs as that baby face. Because like, dude, think about this for a second. Before COVID, he was not getting the overwhelmingly type of love and like energy and just loudness of all the crowds until he made his return in Money in the Bank 4 years ago.
Yeah, because
Like, go ahead.
the main reason because he's gotten stale, and we've grown up. A lot of times, well, I use this person, and everybody knows I cannot stand Hulk Hogan, but I will use him as an example.
Don't get me started on that, Ben, please.
So as Hogan, his stuff had gotten stale. Everybody was getting tired of it. But then he actually flipped to the dark side. It gave him new life. It gave him such a run. But after a while, people got nostalgic and wanted the old the red and yellow Hogan.
Yellow.
So once he did that, he didn't have anything left. So people for years have been not liking Cena being Cena. They wanted the rap version, the pre-heel Cena. So now we're getting it.
Right, but here's the thing with John, though. Money in the Bank 4 years ago, when he returned after Roman was just in the beginning of his 1,300-day reign, that pop he got was probably one of, if not the loudest you will ever hear in the history of this company when it comes to like return reactions. And then year after year, they got louder and louder and louder. And like, that's why I think a lot of people are appreciating John's career even more now, not just because of the work he did out of the ring to help make WWE become savable and watchable. I'm not saying that John is the end all be all, but I'll tell you though, he bailed WWE's ass out of the fire for many years when it was at risk of being lost.
Oh yeah.
And I don't mean lost when it comes to money, I mean ratings. Because here's the thing. No matter who gets released, right? They're still gonna pour money into this company because they're just spokes on the wheel. That wheel is gonna keep on turning. And it's not gonna stop turning, just like the clock won't stop ticking, because time is the one thing that will never stop. Time is gonna continue going on and on and on as the earth orbits. That time will carry and carry and carry and carry. Life goes on, you have to change. I get that. But they loved these last 4 years who John is because they knew the time was coming soon. The question is, how soon? The fact that he was able to give us 4 more years when COVID was in my opinion, when he was probably going to hang it up, I'm excited that we got to celebrate 20 years with John in 22. And now we get to fully I hope that they get him back to face because I want to hear the crowd blow out of their seats and blow the roof off for him because he deserves it. I don't like the heel John because he doesn't get that same loudness that he got when he was face, especially when he came out at the Rumble. Man,
Well,
that crowd in LA loved him.
oh yeah, and I agree with you. But then here's what my issue with WWE has been.
Sure, go ahead.
You have all these big opportunities. You got the Royal Rumble, you got Money
Sure.
in the Bank. Why give it to someone that's established and already is going to get title shots? It doesn't do your company any good because you're not building up new talent. Now, when Jay won it this year,
That
now
was great.
I'll be the first to tell you, I told everybody, ain't no way Jay winning, blah, this, that, and the other. When he won, the first thing I thought to myself is, didn't they do what you asked? They got somebody and giving them the chance to run with the ball. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's see what he does. And of course, we get to WrestleMania.
What a match that was.
I was like, he ain't gonna do it. Then I'm like, well, maybe he is. I'm like, nah, because to be the champ, you got to have certain things. And as popular as Jay is, it's just because the yeet. So they ain't gonna do it. Well, they did it, and it's like, okay. I watched, and I'm like, he's not a terrible champion by no means.
No, it's not. Absolutely not.
But he's not ready to carry the company. This is
That's
my
the,
opinion.
yeah. No, of course. And Herman, I'll tell you right now. In my eyes, I think the World Heavyweight Championship doesn't carry WWE. It's the WWE Championship. Right now, John's the one carrying this company, but Cody has been the quarterback for a reason.
Correct.
And honestly, I think that Jay, everyone wanted him to win at WrestleMania because he deserved this more than anybody else. And I was impressed with how that match ended. You make Gunther tap to his own hold. That's called karma's a bitch.
It is.
And to all the haters, shove it. Like, that was a great ending.
But the thing was, what made me upset about it,
Sure.
it wasn't that he tapped Gunther out. It's how fast Gunther tapped out. It's
Sure.
like they should have gave it more because it made Jay look weak and it made Gunther look weak because he didn't have him in the chokehold for long. And
Sure.
but that's another story. So
No, of
coming
course.
up, well, no,
Yeah.
I was going to say coming up this Monday. Mark my words, Gunther is going to regain the title. The reason being, and I'm telling you the reason being, they are not happy with the success of Jay. Not that they're mad, but he's not doing the numbers that they want for a champion to do. So they'll give it back to Gunther. Then you will see Gunther and Seth get into it because Seth is going to get that championship back. It's going to turn Gunther to a face. And most people don't see it and think I'm crazy. I said, but they already gave you the seeds. They planted the seeds when Gunther and Seth were talking. They planted the seed. And then with this last Monday, Gunther didn't attack Jay. He came in his locker room. He sat down. They had a man-to-man talk. And he told him, right, for you being a champion, you cannot go trying to help everybody. You have to be a killer. And let's just be honest, Jay is not. Then on top of that, you're wrestling Monday night. Then you're wrestling at the pay-per-view. You're getting beat up. And it's going to make it easy for Gunther to beat you on Monday.
So here's what I'll tell you about Jay right now. The reason why I don't think he's going to lose on Monday night to Gunther, that's because it's too short of a reign for him. I really believe this, and this is my opinion. Cody got a year as champion. Jay deserves a year. The way I see it is this. Even if it's not a year of a title reign, make it a year where he's still in the title picture and he gets it back. That's the way that I see it. I'd be more than happy to see Jay get this back at the end of the summer. But I'll tell you right now, if you watch the segment Monday night with Seth and Punk was the last chance to make sure that Seth didn't win Money in the bank on Saturday. Because if Seth does win that briefcase, it will be a day in hell for WWE for a long time this calendar year because of the chaos he's already causing on Raw. The way I see it is this. Jay, as World Heavyweight Champion, it's best for the fans because it keeps them involved and it keeps them active in the opportunity that Jay's been getting. Gunther as a face, I can't see that. Sami Zayn as a face, yes. I honestly don't see Gunther as a face. I really don't. Because of his reputation of his character as a heel. Seth as a heel makes everyone wishes that he fell off the planet tomorrow because that's how good his character as a heel is. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so Herman, I want to take the chance to do this with you. Money in the Bank from the Intuit Dome in LA. So the card's set, and I figure we could go over this for a second here.
Sure.
The men's Money in the Bank ladder match, as much as I don't want to say it, I really do think that because Punk didn't win, I think Seth is going to win that briefcase, and I think he might be a two-time winner, but I really want LA. No, it's
Punk's
two.
Punk's the only person who won it back-to-back, so it'd be a three-time.
Well, no. I was talking about Seth. Seth only won it one time.
Yeah, you did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So if Seth wins on Saturday, he's a two-time winner. But personally, dude, I want LA Knight to get it because he deserves a push. He hasn't gotten a major push just yet. I think he is deserving of being world champion. My only thing is this. Let's say for some reason, Jay does lose and Gunther takes it back. And Seth goes after it. We haven't seen anything with Seth in LA yet. But LA is just as over as Jay. With yeet. I would love to see LA be Money in the Bank, but all the dominoes are going to fall for Seth. That's my fear. I think it's going to be Seth.
Well, see, it goes back to what I said earlier. Seth don't need that briefcase.
Yeah.
Because he's going to manipulate his way with title shots. He doesn't need it. And he doesn't need it storyline-wise. Plus, Punk is going to cost him for winning. Because
I think he's going to be there and cost him. Yeah, I mean, I'll put money on that. Because those two are going to – listen, man, those two are going to keep going at it this year. I think we're going to see another trilogy between these guys. And also, And personally, to me, that's a moneymaker because those two together. But so that's the men. For the women, so a friend of mine, I was talking to about this. He's a friggin' idiot. There's no way Naomi's winning this. I really think it's going to be Rhea or it's going to be Alexa Bliss. However, I personally think Rhea will get it just because she still has unfinished business with Liv Morgan and Raquel. She still has to deal with Judgment Day because they've been all over her ass for the last year now, almost a year now. No, sorry, not almost a year. Probably the last like 6 months or so.
Right.
But also, look at the champions we have right now. Io Sky, who Rhea's already said, I'm coming for you. Get ready. And then you got Tiffany Stratton. If Rhea wins, she's going after Io. That's plain as day. Anybody else? Roxanne Perez? Maybe I see it. But I think Rhea's the odds-on favorite because I think at one point she was already Money in the Bank, wasn't she?
No, she's never won it.
She has never won it. Okay, so the only one in that match that's won it is Bliss. Okay. But, dude, I think Rhea's the odds-on favorite.
So I'm going to have to go with your friend. Naomi is going to win it. And I tell you the reason why. For first place, again, it goes back to Rhea doesn't need it. Rhea is going to get title shots.
Sure.
Okay. Then
yeah, I see that.
Alexa Bliss doesn't need it because she could get title shots. Plus, she is going to link up with the Wyatt Six somehow.
I agree.
Okay. Then you got who else in it?
Roxanne Perez. Stephanie Vega.
Julia and Stephanie. All three of them are new. They're so new that there's no give them time to build before you get to know them. They don't want to do another Tiffany Stratus. They want to, and again with Naomi, this will be on a reward for her. And Jade Cargill been wrestling back and forth.
Yeah.
You got two faces, so you want a heel person to carry it to be a threat. And Naomi has already told Tiffany, you think it was bad before, wait till I get that Money in the Bank. So for me, I think it's Naomi. And generally, I would never pick Naomi. But just for everything she's been doing lately, for me, she's the odds-on favorite.
Okay. Now we move on to the Women's Intercontinental Championship, the rematch with Lila Valkyria and Becky Lynch. Ra and I are both thinking the same thing. Lila's going to retain. She still has much more to do. Becky, I mean, I think she's hogging the spotlight a little bit too much here, if you think about it.
I can't remember who I was talking to. We had the same type of discussion. My point of view was you want Becky to get it so the Intercontinental Women's title become more valuable. It helped build it. Now, what my friend said, and it makes sense. So he said, we know Bayley is coming back. And Bayley is going to go after the man. So they don't need a title. And I'm like, well, that's very true. But I just think this is more of building the title versus building the person.
That's fair.
If my choice is Becky. So
sure. All right, so that's that. And then we get to what's probably the main event. Cody and Jay, Cena and Paul. And I'm telling you right now, if you watched it at the end of SmackDown, before it went off USA, Cena and Paul were not on the same side with this here. I mean, maybe something happens in LA Saturday that Sean starts to really think about his choices here. That's the thing that I'm thinking about. because we're seeing some teasers, man, of that face turn slowly. Cody and Jay were tag team champions almost 2 years ago. They have a chemistry. They have a friendship on and off camera. There's no question in my mind that those guys are going to win. My question is this: do you think Cody and John are gonna hook up one more time before he's off? Because I think that's going to happen. I think Cody's going to get a rematch. My question is he the one that dethrones him, or is it somebody else? I don't know who could dethrone him because I don't know who's going to take it off because obviously they can't let him just take the title and just run away because that's how he's the rule in wrestling. Someone's going to have to turn him back to face and put an end to that. I think it's probably going to have to be Cody because at the end of the day, the quarterback has all the responsibility because he's got the ball in his hand. So I think it's going to be up to him to stop John dead in his tracks.
I think that Cody and John are going to do SummerSlam.
That's fair.
The match, honestly, I think John and Paul are going to win it. I think that it's going to be some shenanigans. I think this plays into the Gunther Jay thing, that something's going to happen to Jay and they're going to end up losing, and he's going to get something's going to happen to him where it's going to make it very easy for Gunther to beat him. Not easy, but it's going to cost him his championship. Let me say that on Monday.
All right.
That's my thought on him.
All right, so with that being said, so let's see. So we just went over the card. Card's now all set.
Let me ask you something real quick.
Sure.
What do you think about AAA? What do you think about WWE purchasing AAA?
Well, I hate the fact that they're making a fake. I hate the fact that they're trying to make a fake luchador and Shag Gable to basically freaking promote the son of a bitch, which is stupid. Seriously, El Grande Americano. Yeah, Grande's a freaking cup size at Starbucks. Get off me. You know what I mean? Like seriously, I don't even understand the point of that. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Brother. Like, if you're gonna promote AAA, go get Del Rio. No, man, I'm serious here.
Well,
come on, man.
They just took the title off of him, so they can get rid of him.
Yeah. Robert the Southern SA. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Anyway, let's change gears about that. Like, okay, next. So anyway, but no, man. I actually wanted to, but no, man. I really think that we covered everything WWE. But no, man. This was definitely a very special time, man. I really do appreciate that, and you have got to, brother. You have got to come back to Falls Count Anywhere. Like, seriously, I don't like honestly, dude. You have to make sure you're coordinating with Ron. I don't care if it's not every week, but listen, man, you can't be off in the distance anymore. Now that the Lord has realigned the stars to make sure that we got the communication back, we can't lose it now.
I promise you, I will be back on there, and you have an open invitation. You can come on my show. Man, I appreciate you.
Stay in touch, man. Seriously.
Definitely. Go on and give the fans your socials if you don't
mind. Certainly. 100%. So here's where you guys can find me, and I'll give you the national anthem side of me first. Celtics Entertainment is where they have my anthem out. But if you go on Safari and Chrome and type in my name, which you see right there, and seriously, well, if you can't see that, then you're colorblind and go get glasses. Like, seriously, you know what I mean? And I guess because it is Celtic green, Herman's kind of getting like a kick in the face with this because he's just like, dude, I can't stand Boston for the life of me. But only because of you do I wish they had the finals. Okay, I feel so warm and fuzzy inside. Now, now, anyway, um, sorry, that was just a cheap shot at the host. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's not, man. You're gonna find a producer and say what? Say why the hell did we get him on here? Autism speaks, you know. But but anyway, train back on the track here because you got someone to be in a little bit. If you type in my name as you see here on Safari or Chrome, my Celtics Anthem link is where will be right where it pops up. Their Facebook and Instagram accounts for Celtics Entertainment, you will see it right there. Please take a look. Please take a listen. Have a comment on it. Please share it. My goal is to try to get 1 million combined view total. That would just be a dream, and I think that would really draw the attention of the Celtics front office for next year. But also, don't just do it to share it because of me. Do it because you support the autism message as well, and do it because you also support people like myself that are trying to figure out their place in the world. I also want to say this too, that for those that know who Doug Flutie is, the Doug Flutie Jr. Foundation for Autism, they actually asked me to join their program called Stars for the Spectrum, that for every anthem and non-anthem I do for them through their events, I actually get paid now. And it took me a long time to actually figure out how I could get paid for it. And they had a table at the Garden that night, and they found me out of nowhere, and they gave me a chance. And I don't work with them. I don't work for them. I work with them. And I am supporting the mission of autism because, I believe that my story is a story that deserves to be spread and a story that deserves to be told. But my job for when I tell my story is to inspire others to share theirs. And for those that are hiding in the closet, unlock the door, get the hell out of there, and start putting some light in this damn world where it's so dark already. And
Amen.
that's what I mean, and that's why I joined the Flutie Foundation, and that's why I'm proud of it. So that's where you can find me for Celtics. I'm on Facebook, obviously at Erik Dunn, and then at ERIK DUNN 1999 on Instagram, and same thing on X as well. Instagram is where I'll put out all my anthems that I'll put out there as well. And X is also where I put out the link for my other show with 990 WBOB called I'm Done with Sports every Wednesday night at 10 o'clock. That will air. X is where you can find my account, follow me because I put the links up every week so you guys can see that. Please take a listen. Please share it out and stay in touch on that because if you're in Red Sox Nation right now, you're probably wanting to punch me through your computer. And if you're a Bruins fan right now, then maybe you're easing off on the booze. And basically, if you're a Celtics fan right now, you're probably not trying to you're probably not trying to no longer plan an assassination on Chisholm for the $7 billion that the team got sold for. And basically right now, if you are in Patriots Nation, you're just looking to get over 500 and tell them all, anyway. So, Fluffy! Oh, sorry. Gabriel isn't here right now. But sorry. But no, man. But hey, like in all seriousness, it is hard if you're in Red Sox Nation right now. I'm not going to lie to you. It's tough for me to broadcast on them knowing how much they've really just been going down on that slope. Bruins hiring Marco Stern, probably one of the most talented forwards that we've ever had. 05 to 10, he was a power forward for us on the second and third lines. Very, very talented guy. He was with the LA Kings on the assistant coaching staff when they won twice. Head coach for the Ontario Reign in the AHL, which I believe is the AAA system for the LA Kings, if I'm accurate on that. So maybe that's a sign of different things to come. It's just all on Don Sweeney and Cam Newey now. I mean, they got to figure this out. And then Celtics, I'll be going over as we get closer that $280 million tax bill. Don't even get me started on that, man. That would feed families until I'm dead. Like, seriously. You know what I mean? Like, they got to figure all that out. And Tatum being out for probably next year as well is just a detriment and just a damn shame for this team because they would really need him. Let's see what Stevens will do with that. I personally think a lot of people are more enthusiastic and more optimistic about Patriots. I am personally, just because you have Mike Vrabel, you get Josh McDaniels back. Drake May is getting new pieces to his arsenal. He's getting new weapons. He's getting help. My Stephon Diggs acting like a today. It's just like being out there on that boat. Yeah, go drink yourself to oblivion there, you son bastard. Anyway, sorry. But hey, listen. Like, Herman, it's amazing when you find a guy as talented as him, and you sign him to a multi-year contract, and then you see him with a story like this, and you're just like, and we're Patriots? No. So all I can say is this. If they're just focusing on his talent versus him being a complete dink off the field, whatever. If his demeanor is the same off the field as it is on and in the locker room, then get rid of him. But until that happens, and until I say otherwise, then Drake May is going to need him. But they did very well in the draft. I think the lowest grade they got from all of the critics was a B minus. It was either a B, A minus, A, or an A plus. And if you've been following them, man, for years, they've sucked in the draft. They've had really bad years. I think this year is the rebuild to get them back to the playoffs. I can't say that for certain, but I am very confident this is a different Patriots team, and this is going to be a very special year. We obviously got to get to spring training. We also got to get to training camp in July and August. We got to get to the preseason, see what happens. But I'm more optimistic about Patriots right now than about anybody else, just because there's so much uncertainty. And there's so many questions. Celtics and Bruins, there's so many questions. Red Sox, they can't get their heads out of their ass. Patriots, maybe they can create a new winning culture. I guess we'll find out. But guys, tune into that with 99 WBOB. Tune in with me for WWE as next week I will recap Money in the Bank. Ron and I do our predictions. I think the record for me right now is I'm 16-18. He's 19-15. Suck ass. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, honestly, dude, I can't stand it when he's that much better than me and he keeps on making fun of me for picking the wrong people when honestly he's the one that's basically almost as bald as you. So I'm like, yeah, guess what? That you old freak. Yeah, screw up. You know what I mean? But anyway, but I'll tell you though, man. Joking aside, kidding aside, this is an interesting ride I'm on right now, and glory to God. He's great all the time, and that's where I am with all that from my headspace. I hope you guys will stay in touch. Please reach out to me on my social if you guys have any questions about me. Tune into FCA, I'm Double Sports. Find that Celtics anthem and please spread that out, because that to me is going to really speak volumes about how much closer I can get to getting into some bigger opportunities. And just spread kindness. That's the biggest thing I can say is spread kindness, because there isn't enough in the world right now, and I feel like it's gone down drastically. You know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? And with that being said, I guess before Herman wants to sign off, that's everything that I have to say. Herman, I would love if you have any thoughts for me, and we'll officially give these guys a good night.
My thoughts for you is to continue growing, continue doing what you're doing. Man, like I said, I never knew that you had autism. It doesn't change what I feel about you. You're a great man. You're just great at what you do. I appreciate you. We're definitely going to have you back.
Appreciate that.
And like Erik said, man, support. Even if you have whatever you have, support. That's all. And be kind. It takes nothing to be kind to each other.
Absolutely.
And the world is full of evil. Let's at least have some kindness from our fellow man. And with that being said, Eric, thank you. For everyone who's watching or listening, thank you as always for joining me. This has been a Bear's Thought, and we will see you on the next go around.